Nazca lines really navigational markers for otherworldly beings visiting Earth? Or were they meant to commemorate an extraterrestrial encounter, one that happened tens of thousands of years ago? Modern-day historians and anthropologists believe the Nazca people were one of several ancestors of the Inca civilization, the largest empire in pre-Columbian America. In the 13th century, the Inca Empire thrived in the Andes Mountain region of South America. According to legend, the mysterious Incan creator god Viracocha commissioned the Nazca lines and glyphs in the remote past.
And these were said to be created by the Viracocha himself, who was the great teacher god of the Andes. And so where he came from is still a mystery. He could have been from Sumeria. It could have been connected somehow with the Anunnaki. No one really knows, but the same legends and the same stories of these great gods appear throughout the world, especially all the way through the Americas.
We know that they are part of a creation mythology in which some of the figurines which are depicted here are said to be deities, are said to be part of the creation mythology as to how the people who lived in that area and who made these geoglyphs came about. They are messages to be seen from above to basically say that the people on the ground still live in accordance with the rules established by the deities who came from above, to teach the people on the ground about civilization and various other aspects of culture.
Could the lines and glyphs of Nazca really have been the work of the Inca god Viracocha, as their legends suggest? If so, what was the purpose of carving these strange geoglyphs into the earth? Perhaps the answers can be found by taking a closer look at one of Nazca's most mysterious figures, one that has become known as El Astronauto. Switzerland, 1968. Researcher and writer Erich von Däniken publishes his first book, Chariots of the Gods. In it, he introduces the revolutionary notion that the Nazca lines were created by the Nazca people after witnessing extraterrestrials using advanced technology and a sophisticated knowledge of mathematics.
Erich von Däniken was one of the first to actually do aerial flyovers of the Nazca region, and was one of the first researchers to not only look at the diagrams on the plain floor, but also in the hills of Nazca, we find intricate mathematical diagrams that have never been documented before.
When you fly over the desert, you see down gigantic lines. Seen from the air, they give you the imagination of airstrips because they start abruptly, end abruptly, sometimes they cross. They look like airstrips.
When Eric drew the comparison as to how this looks like a network of runways, this to draw a visual comparison to what they look like from above. They are not runways, they would not support the weight of anything physically landing there.
Some theorize that they were runways. I don't believe that for a moment. Hell, I was in the Air Force for 6 years, and none of the aircraft that we had would be capable of landing on that as a runway. I think it's more of a attention getter. You can see them from space. So I think that it's a signal.
In the more than 4 decades since the publication of Chariots of the Gods, Erich von Däniken's controversial theories concerning the Nazca lines have continued to spark widespread study. Some scholars, after discovering curious patterns in the numerous designs, suggest that the Nazca lines might actually be one of the earliest known examples of applied geometry.
They were interesting geometric figures. They could draw a figure, and then they could envision making it even bigger. You're making angles, you're approximating distances, and that innate skill of us to deal with geometry, I think, translates to our earliest art forms.
It's interesting as you look at these designs on the plains of Nazca. Some of them have very, very interesting relationships to the skies overhead. There's a very famous glyph of a spider with one leg that extends way, way out, and if you take that and flip it into sort of a mirror situation, what you can plainly see is that the spider is meant to represent the constellation of Orion, and the spider's leg, the extension, is meant to represent the star Sirius. So whoever put these designs on the plains of Nazca understood the same thing that all of the other ancient cultures before them understood, which is that there's some critical importance to understanding Orion and Sirius and their relationship to the Earth.
But could the Nazca figures really have had a more profound purpose? Some ancient astronaut theorists believe they were created as a means of communicating messages to the gods. Messages that may have also included a plea for them to return. Ancient astronaut theorists believe the mysterious figure known as El Astronauto could hold a clue to the Nazca mystery.
And they call him the spaceman. And he appears to have a space helmet or something on his head, and he's got one arm up and he's waving. And it would seem this is one of the sky gods. Or, if he's not one of the sky gods himself, he's one of the Nazca people who's waving to the sky gods and saying, "Hi, we're here. Come and land. We know you came here before. Come back."
You have a figure that looks like E.T. with the big eyes and the big head, and one hand is pointing to the sky and the other is pointing to Earth, as if it was some type of a message. Hey, something happened here. We were visited by beings from above.
Is the mysterious figure known as El Astronauto evidence of an extraterrestrial visitation in the distant past, as some researchers believe? And if so, might this suggest a reason why extraterrestrial visitors may have landed at Nazca in the first place?
We sent scientists from the University of Dresden